Hello everybody and welcome to Against the Fence. Merry Christmas. In this video we're going to be giving you our top 5 MVPs of 2021. The most valuable player. Now whilst you're watching this video, don't be shy, get in the comment section below and give us your top 5 MVPs of 2021. And, you know, play along. I'm sure it's all about fan opinions at the end of the day. I'm sure you might have slightly different ones to us. But this is going to be ATF's top 5. We're going to kick this off then. Si, who have we got at number 5?
In at number 5, we put down Marina Rodriguez. Yeah. She's sick. She's actually done some really good things in the division, but we mainly put her in at number 5 because she's grown so much. She's had 3 fights this year. Right?
3 fights.
She's been able to overcome challenges in the octagon. That last fight against Mackenzie Dern was absolute fire. I mean, it was a massive toss-up. We didn't know where that was going to go. Big test and overcome that one. Flying colours. And no, she fought the likes of Rebaz, Waterson, but each fight she's been fighting has just been one level above the other. And I think that deserves a place in our top 5.
Yeah, she came back from adversity against the Rebaz fight as well. You know, Rebaz had her down for majority of round 1.
Yes.
But she was able to get back up and start off round 2 by just starching her, putting her away. So, yeah, I think that's a decent one to pick. And she's
potentially
she could get a title fight next year.
Yeah, 100%. Just going to touch on that, Yeah.
All right.
In at number 4, we have Islam Makhachev. Again, his name speaks for itself, really. Obviously, he's also fought 3 times this year. Defeating the likes of Drew Dober, again, tough test. Thiago Moises, and then the veteran of Dan Hooker. So, again, he will probably be in most people's top 5.
Not just beat, right?
Yeah.
Submitted. Submitted.
Yeah. Crazy.
And that Moises fight was his sort of first, his coming out. Because
yeah, exactly, It
was his first time headlining a UFC card.
Yeah.
So, I think it's a solid.
He's got a fight booked for next year already. So, come on. If he beats Bruno Dariush, then that's it. We're off to the races with Islam Makhachev.
Activity-wise, he's right up there, doing all the right things, putting on all the right strings, and like having all the right fights ultimately. And that's what you want to see in an MVP. Someone who's actually going out there and fighting. Number one,
active,
100%. And you know the way they get their fights done as well is huge. You know, fans love a finisher. No submission less so than knockouts, but submissions. Yeah, it's exciting.
3 submission finishes for Islam.
Strong. Strong.
That's a good shout. And then in at number 3, then we've got another person who's beaten 3 people this year, and we got to go with Cyril Gane. You know, he captured the interim heavyweight title against Derek Lewis. Okay, say what you want about interim belts, but nonetheless, it still accounts to something.
I love an interim belt.
An interim belt.
Yeah, let's not get into
that. Not massively keen on that, but you know, he started it off well by beating Jairzinho Rozenstruik in February. Yeah. Dana wasn't really keen on that performance, but you know, he bounced back against Volkov in June.
Yeah.
And he decisioned him, but it was against a tough striker. Like in Alexander Volkov, very technical
fight.
And then of course the Derek Lewis one, and TKO winning in round number 3.
This is the thing though, people say that like he's a boring fighter going to decision, but as a heavyweight, to do what he does, he didn't go 3 rounds, he went 5 rounds twice. And for a heavyweight to bounce on the balls of his feet for 5 rounds and outstrikes his opponents is just crazy.
So impressive.
It's
unseen.
It is. And he headlined all 3 of those fights as well. Yeah. So you got to put that in there.
Yeah.
And here's the thing as well, in terms of like the struggles, each time we didn't have enough data on him to say, okay, we assumed that maybe he might struggle here in this area and so on. But he walked through each of the fights and he literally beat each of the fighters with ease. Yeah, it's so impressive. And we're still struggling to find out, like, what is this guy's kryptonite? What is going to be the big trouble for him? Is it his chin? Is it his grappling? And he's just well-rounded in all areas. It's so fantastic.
It's not a bad
He's got the answer.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing to win decisions, to be honest, because at least you get to see more of the fighter. Yeah. There's still more risks during that time period than just going out and starching a guy and you know, of course, going out and starching someone is much more impressive.
Yeah, of course.
Exciting.
You know, you don't see as much.
It's what gets the people going.
All right, so what's number 2 then?
All right.
slightly different one.
It is a little bit different, isn't it? So in at number 2, we've got Charles Oliveira.
Yes.
Now, you guys might not be surprised that we've got him in there in the division. No, we've seen him recently. We've seen him do some amazing things at the top. He's got the belt himself as well. And this is one of our first ones in this top 5 so far that we're looking at actually is holding a proper belt, bar the interim from Cyril Gane, of course. But that's not the only reason why we give him in position number 2. Now, this guy has fought the likes of Michael Chandler, right? And he was able to put him away in a way that we didn't think he was going to do so. He's impressing people on different levels and getting fights done in ways that we least expect. And he's also able to get that finish over Dustin Poirier as well, which you've recently seen in UFC 269, the last pay-per-view of this year. So look, fundamentally, this guy is doing all the right things. He's got a belt himself as well, and he's just mad progression. And he is an example of someone who is getting better each time.
He is.
His striking is a perfect example of that.
Yeah, and he's coming back from adversity in his fights as well. You know, Chandler had him hurt, or looked like he had him hurt at one point. Dustin Poirier dropped him in the first round of their fight. So, you know, and he's still finding ways to win. And this is a new Charles Oliveira we're talking. And
it's crazy to think, apart from the likes of, as we mentioned, we had Islam in our top 5. The only likes of him, the only ways I see that fight potentially testing Charles Oliveira, because the guy is legit. He's like, obviously before the Michael Chandler fight, you saw the first round. Crazy. We obviously, I know it was back and forth, but then you look at the back end of that first round. Chandler dropped him. We all thought Chandler was going to win by knockout. He hung in there like a champion, and then
to come out second round and just
do what he done.
Left hook.
Yeah, crazy.
It's impressive.
And then obviously beating a veteran like Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier's been around in and around that lightweight division.
Yeah.
We all know he's a veteran.
But that's just the last 2 fights. I mean, we knew that something scary was brewing when we saw what he'd done to Tony Ferguson back in 2020 to December.
And the likes of Kevin Lee as well.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. At that point, you realize, you know, there's something brewing here. And, you know, it's no surprise why the reason he is where he is. But that takes us to the number 1 spot.
Yes, drum roll, please.
The number 1.
The number 1 slot is
Kamaru Usman.
Now, I think
himself.
It speaks for itself, really. He's also someone who's had 3 wins, this year. He's had 2 finishes against Gilbert Burns and Jorge Masvidal, and then he rematched Colby Covington as well and took him to a decision. Beat him decisively in that one. My most impressive win, I thought, was the Gilbert Burns fight. He did get dropped in that first round as well.
Crazy.
He overcame adversity. And like I always say, it's hard to become champion, but it's even harder to stay champion.
That's
the
true.
fact that he's done that 3 times this year,
100%.
Yeah,
exactly.
that is something. To
defend your belt 3 times in 1 year. To defend your belt 3 times, but let alone in 1 year.
Yeah, in the same year as well. I mean, everyone's chucking a lot. You might think, okay, he's gone against the same opponent on 2 occasions. It's nothing really. I mean, all of these opponents he's fought before, he might just be the king of like rematches. You know, people might want to dub him. But, you know, I think for me, the most exciting knockout out of the last 3 has to be the Jorge Masvidal one.
Crazy.
The way he just steamrolled through him was so exciting. You know, add that to your highlights reel.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think what we're missing in this is, yes, he's fought these guys before, but what you're seeing is the margin between which he's able to defeat them is getting so much bigger.
Yes.
You know, the guy is improving on each fight, and you can see that. If you want to take his opponent as a yardstick and just look at how he performed the first time to the second time round, you can see who's got. I mean, they're both improved, but you can see his level of improvement. The margin is just massive.
Exactly.
And I think that alone is one of the reasons why we've got to give this guy number 1 in our MVP pick.
Yeah, no, that's it. That basically concludes our top 5.
Yep.
There's some other names that we missed out and could have had in there as well.
So many names.
Rose Namajunas, of course, getting her strap back. But for us, we felt that, you know, she had to beat the same person twice.
Yeah.
Of course, the first time was impressive fashion. That head kick was amazing. But, you know, just shy of the top 5.
Another one that we did have as well that we discussed for a long while was Juliana Pena.
Yeah.
Because the reason being, obviously, she fought twice this year, but obviously defeating Amanda Nunes, everyone is calling the women's GOAT, speaks volumes in itself. And some people potentially could have them have her in their top 5. Again, that was a struggle. She was going to get in there, but it's one of them. It's our opinion. You've got your opinion.
A less obvious one we actually had in the mix as well was Giga Chikadze. You know, we thought that could be good. You know, he's not necessarily someone who's at the top of any division, but he is coming through in some exciting speed, and he's doing so well. But yeah, you know, you might agree with us. You might think that one of these other names should be taking a higher ranking in top 5. Yeah, we'll love to hear
another one.
Go on.
Just quickly, Sean O'Malley as well.
Yeah. Fought 3 times.
But I know he's fought unranked guys, but he's
you gotta give him a shout out.
The guy's just knocking out everyone out.
For me, I mean, yes, he's winning 3 times. He's won 3 times. Personally, I think maybe that Matinho fight was a bit of an obvious win. Really, that's probably why he's not in our top 5.
Yeah. He's not fighting that.
It was a last-minute replacement, of course, as well. Yeah. So, I mean, you know, he could be in your top 5.
Yeah, just let us know your top 5.
Yeah, no, get in the comment section below. I'd be interested to hear what you guys reckon. And that was our top 5. This was ATF.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
And have a good new year. We'll be back soon. Don't you worry.
Stay safe.